Hey guys, King of Charmass here. Today I'll be your judge, your jury, and your analyst. And today I bring to you my top 5 teams for the Johto Cup. So Johto Cup is it's not that interesting. I'm going to be deadly honest with you. Most of you should have Pokemon powered up for this cup though, considering a lot of things that got buffed or since Gen 2 has been out for literally for years. And there's been plenty of events for you to get Mons. You should have a lot of these Pokemon either already built or you have them in stock. So the good thing is you won't probably have to spend a lot of dust for this cup. Unless you're one of those crazy people using a Wobbuffet XL. In other words, I appreciate, I actually do appreciate level 51 Wobbuffet, okay? It's so legendary. It's the god amongst gods. It's so goated. So, this is my top 5 teams for Johto Cup. It comes in pretty soon, so the good thing is you won't have to wait too long. If you already hate Master League in the Love Cup, good thing is you don't have to wait too much longer. So, speaking of waiting, as you see here, for my mental health tip of the day, it's actually patience. So, psychotherapy, okay, so you know what? Frustration happens. You know, there's a lot of reasons for us to be impatient in this world, you know what I mean? You kind of, for example, for those of you that want to make Legend, you want Legend now, right? But it takes forever and a whole lot of battles to get to, and I don't think it should be this hard to get to. Well, yeah, it really shouldn't. And, you know, because we're lagging and everything like that, especially if you're lagging and you're just waiting for your battle to go through, patience is not something you have. I used to have not too much patience with lag or Go Battle League in general, especially when it started lagging after, like, post-season 1. I thought I was going to quit, and here I am 9 seasons later. I'm signed to a dang esports team. I have a jersey for crying out loud. I'm sponsored by Champion, and yeah. It's been a pretty cool journey, but I'm really grateful for, like, all the opportunities and, of course, my community. So, with the patience with the Kings, for example, I am very aware that I don't grow as fast as people think I should be, but that's okay. You know what? I'll get there eventually. Patience has taught me a lot. So, patience, of course, has a bad rep. When people tell you that patience, you're having a bad day, of course, you're like, really, dude? Like, it's just frustrating, you know what I mean? It's incredibly frustrating when you just want things to happen right away. But if you have patience, you're able to step back and regroup instead of aggressively or hastily giving up on someone who's frustrating you. So, you can invest time, meaningful time into yourself or with others without ever, like, going haywire. And frustration, it stops you from being emotionally free. When you're patient, you are free to... your emotions run free. You can express yourself freely. You don't lie to yourself. You are able to laugh off bad events, have a sense of humor, and it also stops you from procrastinating, because when you're filled with frustration, you stop doing what you want to do because you don't want it. It's like Legend. When you guys want to stop going after Legend, you want to stop at Expert or Veteran. Because, you know, you don't think you can no more? No, you just need some patience, a lot more training, and you too can be a legend. Anyways, that's my mental health tip for the day. Again, just be patient. If you didn't make Legend yet, you can make it again. Just put in the time, put in the effort, get better and better. Eventually, you'll become a beast like King of Charmass, who just subconsciously battles anyways, never practices or scrims. And I wonder how the hell I'm still good at this game, or I still play it anyways. But, I love y'all. Again, be patient. Hold tight until you make your move. Wait your turn, and you will get there. May not be now, may not be tomorrow, may not be next year, may not be 5 years from now. But there's only 2 things guaranteed in life: death and taxes. So be patient. Hopefully the good thing will come to you. If not, make it happen. If it doesn't, just wait till it does. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, this is my top 5 teams for the Johto Cup. So let's get started. Alright, so for our first team, we got Sudo, Wudo, Ariados, Say-Switch, and Skarmory to close out. So Sudo, Wudo beats Skarmory in the 2 shield, and it's actually a very, very interesting mon. Takes out flyers, can earthquake the electric types to death. Of course, our biggest problem happens to be grass types, which is why we have Ariados and Skarmory. Use Say-Switch into Ariados. Hopefully you can line up the grass type with Skarmory, and then you can go for the GG. Not a lot of bulk, not a lot of safety. Ariados is pretty much here to be dead weight, but Ariados is a great save switch for a good reason. As ranked, I believe it's like, what, #1 in the lead, and like as a switch? Well, not #1 in the lead, but I'm not sure as a switch, but Ariados does allow you to take out the flower. For example, if you switch an Ariados, they throw their Skarmory into you, guess what? Sudowoodo! And you can use Mega Horn or you can use Lunge. If anything, I think you should use Lunge instead of Mega Horn. Just because with Lunge, you can possibly debuff your opponent once or twice, beat that holy crap out of that Skarmory that comes in, and then you can throw all the energy in the back. So that plus your own Skarmory, as long as they don't have an electric type or a lantern, you're good to go in the closer. Of course, you're always susceptible to rock, paper, scissors, so there's nothing that closes that out. Now, your biggest problem happens to be Donphan, just because of the fact that Sudowoodo, Ariados don't do well against it, and Donphan actually beats Skarmory in the 2-shield. So this kind of banks that your opponent doesn't have a Donphan. But other than that, this team does really well. I wanted to find something with Sudowoodo that was halfway decent. If you could swap out Ariados for any other safe switch if you don't like the fact that Donphan does do well against you. For some odd reason, even though it does resist, like Skarmory versus Donphan in a 2-shield is ridiculous. If you look over here, if Donphan wins wins the 2s, the 1s except the closer. I have no idea why counter and body slam is so good. Not only you mention that, why the heck does Earthquake really? Like, this is just ridiculous. I was looking at this sim and I was like, you gotta be freaking kidding me, right? So yeah, like literally you could punch down an entire Skarmory. It's freaking ridiculous how broken counter is. But this also gives you a reason why Donphan is actually pretty dang good for this cup. Again, this entire team loses Donphan. Just hope they don't have an elephant. If they do have Elephant Stampede, you are in a lot of trouble. So, do your best. The interesting thing is that Ariados versus Donphan is it's very interesting. Because if you do put it out together, watch what happens. Donphan loses the 2-shield. So it's like, okay, so as long as you catch Donphan in the 2-shield, you're Gucci. And again, there is merit for using Lunge, because with Lunge and Cross Poison, you could debuff the crap out of Donphan. And again, Ariados does well against Donphan. So what you can do is you can sack Sudo in the lead and then use Ariados to farm down or like send in Skarmory. It's really up to you how you want to play it. But again, Donphan versus Ariados, a very interesting matchup. Hopefully you learned something today. So, speaking of Elephant Stampede, Team 2 features Donphan lead, Umbreon as a safe assist, and Skarmory to close out. And, well, actually, it's not really true, because for Open Ultra League, Umbreon's a pretty baller safe switch. Kind of. If you use it to, like, catch moves, like in Open Ultra League, like I did with Talonflame. But this uses Umbreon as safe switch, Donphan as your lead, and, again, Starmie to close out. A for coverage, lots of bulk. Not very safe. I have a feeling, like, here's the thing. Azu isn't bad in this cup. There's just so many things that kill it. However, if you don't have a hard answer to Azu, you could be in a little bit of trouble. But as you see here, against the overall meta, this team does remarkably well. Especially if your opponent has a Skarmory. Donphan and Umbreon are like, hey dude, you wanna fight? And of course, because Donphan is a ground type lantern, you do really well against it. However, if it's a water gun lantern, you might want to think about your life choices. So, as you see here, this entire team does really well against everything but water and flyers. And well, basically what happens if you lose a lead against Donphan, you say switch an Umbreon and Skarmory against whatever Donphan loses to, does pretty well against the overall meta, or you can break shields with it. Again, remember, Azu! This team's worst Nighthare happens to be Azu. Azu is still really good in this cup, again, barring the fact that you see an electric type, a Quillfish, or a grass type, which happens to be very plentiful in this cup, by the way. But despite that, Azu is still pretty beastly, so if you start seeing Azus, this team might not be super effective, but if your opponent doesn't have an Azu, as you see, it does really well against the overall meta. Of course, I really want to try out Donphan in Great League, just because I don't even know if I have a decent one. Let me take a look. Hold on. I swear I have a good Donphan. I swear I have a good Donphan. I think I do. Or Pampy is just, my little baby Pampy just looking inside my pocket. My thing is like, hey dad, did you forget about me? Because, you know, Gen 2's been out forever. So I really want to see, do I have a good Pampy? No, I don't. No, I don't. I actually don't. No, I have a level 1 Donphan from the Philippines. As much as I love my second home, damn, that's all I gotta say. So I really need to go after some Pampy during the Johto tour. Oh, those are meta inputs. Anyway, speaking of Hulk Smash, you have Donphan Smash. So Again, Donphan is really good, so if you don't have it, Johto Tour coming up, I definitely recommend you go look one up. Other than that, I'm probably just going to power this one up anyways, because it's from the Philippines, you know what I mean? Hey, it's Philippine. I got 1900 candy, and, you know, it's a Filipino Donphan. Yes, Islander Donphan goes ham. Well, Donphan in general goes ham in this cup. IVs don't matter too much, just beat the crap out of it. Alright, next up we got Mantine lead, Donphan, Safe Switch, and Raikou to close out. So, this team is has really good coverage. If you look over here, if you don't see the electric type in the lead, that's great. And fun fact, Mantine actually can take out Meganium in the 2 shield. As you see here, Meganium loses the 2 shield. You have to bait both shields with Bubble Beam, and you have to Ice Beam with it. However, if you go straight Bubble Beam, you can possibly flip it with 1 turn. I'm saying land the Ice Beam, though. Build up the bad Ice Beam energy, and then fire. So, again, build up the Ice Beam energy, and then fire. And then, as you see, you can even go straight Ice Beam, break both shields, and then you can possibly farm down Meganium for the W. But with this team, you can't do this, so I'd be very careful. You have to basically get an Ice Beam through shields, or you have to bait both shields with Bubble Beam to take out Meganium. Really sweaty matchup, right? Hopefully, whatever scenario comes in, you can come in with Raikou, or you can come in with Donphan and farm down for a little bit of energy. Preferably Raikou, because then Raikou with Wild Charge, unless they have a hard answer to you, you should have come out cleanly. This team did really well for... Oh, wait, no. This... Oh, wait. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, God. Oh, God. Team Trimatters is, like, lost. Okay, here it is. So, this team did kind of well when I practiced with my friend, outside of the fact that if you do see Quagsire, it's kind of a pain in the butt. You do beat Quagsire in the lead, though. As you see, if you place Loetsaya doesn't have a great matchup against Mantine. Okay, so here it says you win. I don't know why the sim pops out this way, but if you go straight Bubble Beam, you beat Quagsire. See? I don't know why it's telling you to Ice Beam. Like, straight Bubble Beam, you kill Quagsire, so I don't know why. So, against Lord Quag, Mantine actually beats it in 2 shield. You lose the lead, Safe Switch into Donphan, and then hopefully you can close out with Raikou and Mantine. Mantine's a very underrated lead, in my opinion. I like it a lot. For those of you, it's tanky. It has a lot of versatility. Of course, if you get locked into a freaking electric type, you are dead. In some instances, you might be able to come out with the W, but with Bubble Beam, you can play out with those debuff plays. And of course, Ice Beam gives you that grass type coverage. So, also, Wing Attack takes out the fighters, so it's pretty good. So, this is a great Mantine team. Again, it's a very, I don't know why the sim runs Mantine with Quagsire into 2 shield, but you beat it straight Bubble Beam. So, hopefully you catch them in the lead. Again, if you do lose Mantine, you can even do sack lead strats with Mantine. Sack lead strat with Mantine. Farm down Raikou and Donphan. Hopefully they're down shields. Raikou with Wild Charge and Shadow Ball just goes to town. Alright, so team number 4, we got Umbreon, Quillfish, and Piloswine. Umbreon is pretty solid. Outside of getting punched in the face by Donphan, and... I am actually liking how, like, you know, Sudo and Donphan kind of get some love. You know, it's always been freaking Obstagoon, Vigoroth, Toxicroak is freaking Toxicroaks. No, for real, Toxicroak was good in what, the Halloween Cup? It was good in the Halloween Cup, the Sinnoh Cup. God knows how many cups that stupid frog has been the main fighter to oblivion. Lucario, you never seen Donphan getting some love, and here you go, Donphan gets some love. Unfortunately, it's at the cost of some of your favorite Fox or whatever the heck this thing is, Umbreon. Which, I love Umbreon because my Umbreon XL has been my baby. So, Umbreon XL, not Umbreon XL. God, if you had an Umbreon XL in Great League, dear God. It would be like the latest Demon Slayer episode, like Gyutaro and Daki. You know, Gyutaro's like the big brother, and then you like Umbreon, you got like Daki, which, that's a really sad story, but like, dang, dude. Yeah. Demon Slayer hits you in the feels with every single episode that came out. I still haven't watched Attack on Titan, by the way. I have to record this before I go to bed, so probably not going to watch until like next week. Anyways, as you see here, we got Umbreon lead, Quillfish, Safe Switch, and Piloswine to close out. So Piloswine, as a closer, nukes everything to oblivion. It's going to send the North Pole on top of your head, and it's going to cause a mini Californian earthquake on there. No pun intended. A for coverage, B's across the board, which is really surprising because you really think this team combined actually puts up these stats. But you know what they do? More stats than, in fact, Joe Burrows did when he got sacked 70 times combined total in the season and the postseason on NFL. Dang, bro. The dude gets hit. You know, it would have been funny if you just took one less sack and it would have been at 69, but just kidding, bro. Like, I hope you get better because your knee got contruded, man. Sorry, Bengals fans. Anyways, as you see here, this team does really well against overall meta, of course, with an A for coverage, with your only biggest weakness being Steelix and Fortress. I don't like Steelix in this cup just because of Meganium's existence, and yeah, but Steelix is actually factually pretty dang good. You have Fortress in here as well. Those two are sleepers. I don't have any of them on my top teams, but Steelix and Fortress are pretty good. Well, Steelix does well against Skarmory, of course, because it's a steel type. And at the same time, the Dragon Tail buff gives it a lot of viability. Of course, if you see an Ozzy, you die, but you know it's what it is. However, this team does have win cons against it. With Qwilfish, you do have Aqua Tail. So Qwilfish versus Steelix does have a bad matchup in the Aqua Tail. As you see here, Steelix actually loses the 2-shield against Qwilfish. Straight Aqua Tail, just because you spam so much, as you see here. And even if you do get the crunch debuff times 2, if you're lucky enough to get that, which never happens with me, as you see here, you can still take it out. So, good thing to have. Fortress, of course, Fortress is going to Fortress. Bug Buzz does do a lot of damage, so just putting that out there. But what you can do in the 2-shield is that in the 2-shield, if you do get in 2-shield, as you see here, you can straight foul play. This isn't a bad matchup because they have to pop both shields, but at the same time, as you see here, they have 0 energy. So you could farm this thing. You could literally sack Umbreon in a lead, and then you can farm it down with, what's the word I'm looking for here? Oh, which one? You could farm it down with Piloswine, and because it resists ice, you can get a lot more farm, and then Piloswine just runs through whatever's in the back row. That's why I like Piloswine. Can be used as a 2-shield strat kind of deal. You know, 2-shield breaker strat, one of my favorite strategies where you break 2 shields in the lead, and then you send the monster closer with shield advantage or energy advantage and just burn your opponent. Very much like the Frostless 2-shield strat. So, very powerful. Again, I like this team. Does really well. If you really like the 2-shield strat, it's a very solid team. Of course, some of you really just love Umbreon. And last but not least, we have an ABB team. You said it, you saw it. You know, if they're double dual typing, is it like ABB or is it like AB, or like A, B, C, D, E, F? I don't know. Just because, you know, it's like dual typing, but like the ABB concept is that there's 2 strong general typings behind in the back. I don't know. Anyways, we got Skarmory, Qwilfish as your say-so, and Quagsire to close out. Someone in comments with my Johto meta-analysis mentioned that Skarmory Quag was a good core because of Swampert. That's kind of true. Except the reason why Swampert is so godforsaken overpowered to begin with is because Hydro Cannon is overpowered. They nerfed it, and it's still overpowered. Yes, a long time ago in the Blue Dark Moons, when Hydro Cannon first came out, it was so freaking broken. Then they nerfed it. Literally the first time isn't that the first time they've ever nerfed a move? Because last time I checked, yeah, they nerfed it a while ago, and it was like, God, mother of mercy. Like, if it did the damage back then that it did now, well, yeah, it would kind of matter just because, it would add up a lot. Anyways, amazing coverage. Not a lot of bulk. Qwilfish and Quagsire do not combine for good bulk, unfortunately, but good grades across the board for safety and consistency. Overall, it's a very, very strong team. The reason why Qwilfish is such a good safe switch, if you look at the sim, as you see here, in the 2-shield, yes, Skarmory wins, but that's not a bad rating. As you see here, if you're able to get Poison Sting does 1 damage, but as you see here, if you're able to somehow to get a Poison Sting through all these timings, you could possibly take back, or not really. What are you going? As you see, if you do all this said and done, this Skarmory has no energy, so you can literally sack Qwilfish. You will lose alignment, which is perfectly fine, but you can leave Skarmory with 4 HP left. So you get that little bit of energy advantage with either Skarmory or with Quagsire, and maybe you can nuke whatever's in the back. So again, very powerful team, very interesting sim when Skarmory and Qwilfish, just because, yes, Poison Sting is resisted, but the reason why it's so freaking good is because Aqua Tail is spammy. And the only thing that's really concerning is, of course, Lantern. Lantern laughs at Skarmory and Qwilfish. You can say switch hopefully you don't get zapped to death, but if you run the sim against Lantern versus, it's a pretty bad. Ironically, Lantern actually will lose the 2 shield. It's very bait dependent and you need to get a Sludge Wave through, but you can force both of the Lantern shields and then you can come out with Quagsire because of the fact that Spark and Thunderbolt are both resisted. You can kind of just like eat everything and like possibly farm down Lantern, then throw that energy in the back with Quagsire. So a lot of fancy things you can do with this team. Overall, if you look at it has an incredibly low threat score of 517. No one thing will beat this entire team. Of course, you have to watch out for the electric type. However, what you can do is you could sack Skarmory lead, or you can send in Quillfish, break shields, hopefully Sludge Wave through shields, and then Lord Quagsire can come in there. And the Sire will eat all the Thunderbolts, and then you could just mud shot the crap out of whatever's down, farm down completely, and then burst all that energy in the back. Hopefully, Skarmory can close out. But again, Skarmory, Quagsire core, very, very powerful with Quillfish, a 517 rating. Good ABB team. I really want to test this one out. And again, it's a very, very, very solid Skarmory and Quagsire as a core. And that's GG's. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Quagsire is very interesting. You know, it's very, I'm happy Quagsire is like the premier mud boy for this cup, of course, because of the Johto Cup, but it wasn't disrespected like Celebi with Magical Leaf. Seriously, that new move is so disrespectful and it really doesn't do anything for Celebi. I get it, it was for Johto because it's given to Celebi, but still, it does nothing for Celebi. Like I mentioned, I like how the Johto Cup allows a lot of unique things to shine, like Donphan and Sudo. Donphan you will probably never use in your entire freaking life outside of this cup. You might use it because it's, if you use it for a Silk Cup, yes, but like Donphan is just really funny and interesting. You also have Donphan with Charm. Yes, Donphan and Charm is a viable thing. However, without counter, you do not beat Skarmory. So again, it's a really fun cup where interesting things get to shine, but it's a lot like the Sinnoh Cup. If you watch my meta-analysis, again, Flyers lose to electric types, Grass beats electric, and of course, Grass beats water. And water loses to electric. So, Mad Cargo is kind of just in the middle of anything, and she's just like, but what about me? Mad Cargo is good, don't get me wrong. I think the Cargo with Incinerate is great with Rock Tomb. However, with a lot of fighter viability in here, and of course, water types running rampant, Mad Cargo is like, bruh. Of course, some sleeper picks like Mantine. I don't think Mantine's really a sleeper pick. It's a top lead for a reason. And again, fun closes like Piloswine comes out for a very, very fun cup with a lot of different possibilities. It may be prone to RPS like with the Sinnoh Cup, but you know what? It's actually not that bad because the reason why Sinnoh Cup was so terrible is because of the existence of Gastrodon and Bastion, which both happen to not exist in this cup. So, you might have a lot of fun. If you're legend like me, I will give you a whole lot of looks to make sure you are ready for the next wave. Well, isn't Johto Cup just like a week? Couldn't it have been longer? It's like, hey, here's a... they're probably... Next season, season 11, they're probably going to make Johto Cup like 2 weeks or something like that. Watch. It's going to happen. And then they're going to buff some other Johtomon. Anyways, I hope you guys are ready for this cup. Love Cup has gotten very stale for me. I'm tired of seeing all these Metacham Licky XL cores. And yeah. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you do me a huge favor, please like and subscribe. You see this little charm right there? Next to the bottom right, if you put your mouse over that sub box, you can easily subscribe over there. I really appreciate my current subscribers. I really hope you reached your goals early. If not, there is still time. So good luck on your Go Battle League sets. And I will see you guys on the next video.